Micki.
Mitch, dude, I'm so glad to catch up with you, man. I know you're busy, but I wanted to talk to you for my radio show, Mickey's Free Ride. And me and you got history, baby. Number one. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely.
But the thing that's so cool, Mitch, about my radio show is I get to talk with my friends like you. I call it chats because I hate the word interview. And we talk about, like your influences and what you've done. And dude, besides being, like one of the best guitar players I've ever played with and have known, you replaced Randy Rhoads in Quite Right, but it was Dubrow. You played with Michael Schranker, Edgar Winter, Lita Ford. This is the one that kills me, Mitch. You played keyboards on Aerosmith's record, Classic Live. Is that? Tell me about that. I mean, come on, man. What?
Actually, it's funny because I could have even wound up playing guitar on it. Basically, the way that worked was I was managed by Lieber and Krebs, which
Mm-hmm,
was
mm-hmm.
Aerosmith's original management. But by the time I got there, they had just bailed and gone to Tim Collins.
Right.
And they left Krebs and CBS Records both owing them two albums. Those two albums became the Classics Live records, the blue one and the red one.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And basically, Krebs took tapes out of the vault and, I mean, basically the tapes he had to work with were the stuff from their less than sober period. So,
Right.
so there's a lot of doctoring going on in the studio. And Paul O'Neill, who produced the Heaven album, was producing those records. And so, they asked me to come in and ghost some guitars, and I went, nah, I ain't gonna ghost
Right.
guitars. If I
Right.
was gonna play, I wanted,
I hear you.
yeah, I wanted to get the credit. I didn't really mind getting paid to, throw a few keyboard parts on the great songs. I mean, getting to play the keyboards to Kings and Queens.
Right. Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
just badass stuff. So
Just your guitar playing. I mean, to me, I've always dug you, man. You when we first met and then we played together, dude. You were like blazing hot then, and your legacy is just so happening, Mitch, and to current day. We got to start from a little bit from the beginning to let the listeners here in northern Arizona kind of dig on your vibrations, man, because you're deep. Who was your guy that you dug, Mitch Perry, when you started playing guitar in the beginning, like all of us? Who besides Hendrix? Who was your guy?
yeah. Oh man, I'll tell you what, real easy. Jimmy Page and Michael Schenker were my first
Oh yeah.
two favorite guitar players. I mean that's funny that I actually got to play with Schenker later on, but when I was a kid, for guitar virtuosity, and this is pre Van
Mm-hmm.
Halen or any of
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I was into the UFO stuff in 75,
Right.
76,
Right.
and he was it for me. Jimmy Page was for me the coolest riffs around, and I dug what he did with the acoustic guitar and the shit like Rain, but the stuff like the Rain song and That's the Way and all that stuff, I really love that stuff. So he was my other favorite. But then, as I started, doing, really getting into playing, guys
Mm-hmm.
like Gary Moore and
Oh
Pat
God, yeah.
Thrall.
Mm-hmm.
Pat Thrall was a huge
Loved
influence.
Pat Thrall. Loved him.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if you remember, that's how I ended up in California from Florida. Was Pat Thrall used to see my top 40 band in Florida when he was down there with Pat Travers, and he hooked me up with Alfonso Johnson from Weather
Mm-hmm.
Report, which is who flew me out here in January of '80.
That's crazy, man. I loved Pat Thrall when he did Automatic Man, right? Was it that? Oh
Absolutely.
my
I
God.
can't, can't believe you bring that up. That is such a badass band.
That,
Mike Shreve. Uh,
oh, dude.
it's funny because you bring that up, but I do the whiskey on Tuesdays. I know because we did that together. But last night, the theme of the night was Woodstock, because it
Right,
was this
right.
week. So, it's all Woodstock songs last night. Songs.